This past December, my whole family met up in Norway for a cozy Scandinavian Christmas. My parents, all 5 of us sisters, and 2 husbands. We took a Fjord cruise from Bergen, had Christmas lunch on top of Mount Floyen, rode a scenic train through the snow to Oslo, and this video is just the first 3 days, before Zeb and I took an overnight ferry to Denmark and then Sweden, which I'll share in part 2. But we'll begin when Zeb and I were about to miss our connecting flight in Amsterdam, where the rest of the family was waiting. Hello! We're walking quickly to our gate, and because I looked stressed, they let me through the line, I guess, I don't know. But we're very close to making the cutoff for our connection. Hello? All 9 of us made the flight, and our next stop was Bergen, Norway. Bergen is on Norway's west coast, and it's the 2nd largest city after the capital of Oslo. It's surrounded by mountains and fjords, and known for its rows of colorful wooden buildings lining the harbors. We took the light rail from the airport to the city center, and at each stop a unique melody played, which was kind of cool. The light rail leaves every 15 minutes from the airport, which is one end of the line, and the city center is 45 minutes away. When we got to central Bergen, Zeb and I split off to find somewhere to buy an outlet converter. We forgot ours, but quickly got distracted by all the cute buildings and cozy lights. Look at this McDonald's! It's Christmas Eve in Bergen. We're currently walking to go get an outlet converter because we forgot that on the way to. Interestingly, this telephone box had been repurposed as a mini library. The city was founded in the year 1070, and its great seaside location made it a prime spot for trading. It was the capital of Norway in the 12th and 13th centuries, and now it's a UNESCO World Heritage City. Also, one of my favorite things to do in other countries is visit the grocery store. It's such a mundane part of life, but it's so interesting to me to see what kind of food is for sale, the slight differences in what's available, and if there's any foods that are new to me. Of course, a lot of it's the same because we live in a global world, but it's still pretty interesting to see the slight differences. It was Christmas Eve, so we thought getting some pancake mix might be fun for Christmas breakfast in the morning. Just make American pancakes. Once we had our outlet converter and pancake mix, we got back together with the family and went to see the wooden buildings of Bryggen, Bergen's old wharf. Like a big pack of people.
I feel like a drowned rat.
It was a pretty rainy Christmas, but no one's spirits were dampened. Many of these buildings have been restored after fire damage, and I love how the doorways and structures are kind of wonky and leaning different ways. Bryggen was built up by the Hanseatic League, which was a group of merchants and traders who were actually German. Norwegians took over from the Germans in the 1700s, and this area is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Since it was winter, the sun set at around 3:30 in the afternoon. It was kind of weird to get used to, but it also made the evenings feel extra cozy. With the rain especially, we hurried back to where we were staying to settle in. We rented an Airbnb that was perfect for our huge 9-person group. We had a really nice Christmas Eve dinner together, and everything felt so cozy. The pancakes may have been advertised as American, but it took 3 of us to figure out what a deciliter was in order to prepare them.
Merry Christmas! So we're trying to figure out what a DL is.
Isn't it like deciliter?
It's a deciliter, but...
Deciliter.
I mean, is that a cup?
No, they're different cups. They don't use cups.
After pancakes, my sisters and I went to put our shoes on, and we realized that St. Nick had left some Christmas goodies in our shoes.
The Kinder Surprise!
I have to say that European Kinder eggs are way superior to American Kinder chocolates. They actually have toys inside. Apparently, the American Food and Drug Administration has a silly law that bans any food with a non-nutritive object embedded, including toys and chocolate. But it made opening these a lot of fun. We have lunch reservations, and so we're going to take the Funicular up Mount Floyen to the restaurant that's up there. So, since there's 9 of us, I'm going to buy the tickets now so that all we have to do is just walk over and get on. A funicular is a cable railway system that goes up the side of a mountain, and you can take one from downtown Bergen to the top of Mount Floyen. You can also walk up, which would take about an hour. The automated ticket machines were easy to use, and it's 130 kroner per adult, which is about $12 US.
Hello?
Wow.
Tickets in hand, I met up with the family, and we got ready to ride up the Floibahn. Mount Floyen is about 400 meters, or 1,300 feet above sea level, and it gives a great view of the city below. After taking plenty of selfies and enjoying the view, we walked over to the Floirestauranten, where we had Christmas lunch reservations. I was so excited. It's a beautiful building, founded in 1925, with plenty of windows to let you enjoy the view during your meal. They were offering a set 3-course meal for Christmas, with hearty traditional Norwegian food. The meal started with seafood soup, which was warm and velvety. It was so nice on a chilly winter day. The main course was lamb ribs. Norwegian food seems to be pretty meat-heavy. These were really tender, salty, and full of flavor. My mom is pescatarian, so she got lutefisk, a dish of cod cured in lye.
Potato.
Dessert was a light mousse topped with tangy cloudberries. My first time trying those kind of berries. As if it could get any better, right as we were leaving the restaurant, we were met with the most stunning sunset. Don't forget, it was only 3:30, but this was such a vibrant and beautiful surprise. On top of Floyen, you can also find hiking trails and a really cool playground surrounded by mossy woods.
Wow.
And kinda creepy trolls.
Spooky.
We tested everything, and it's definitely made for kids of all ages. Even my dad went down the slide. The early sunset meant that we could get a view of the city lit up at night, too. It was such a pretty spot to view Bergen. Back at the main city level, we wandered around enjoying all the decorative lights. It was so nice to see all the soft, warm light, especially on a cold, dark winter night. Almost every window had one of those stars hanging in it. It made me want to get one for our house since it seemed so comforting. Our evening plans were to visit Fantoft Stave Church nearby.
It's not even dinner time, but it looks like the middle of the night.
Stave churches are wooden Christian church buildings, often built in medieval times and around the end of the Viking Age in northwestern Europe. They're constructed with timber framing, and the load-bearing posts are called staves, which is how it gets the name. The eerie, dark path and quiet surroundings of our visit at night made the church seem even more dramatic and impressive. You can see it from the outside any time of year, but during the summer they actually sell tickets to go inside, which I'd love to see one day. We took the light rail back to the center of Bergen, but stopped at a 7-Eleven for some snacks. After all the time I spent at konbinis when we lived in Japan, I was pretty excited to see what one was like in Norway. I was mostly surprised that they sold merch. Like, how has Japan not gotten in on that? Of course, Zeb bought a hoodie. There were sandwiches and bagels instead of onigiri, and the candy selection seemed larger, especially the gummies and the salty candy offered.
What do you think? What do you think that tastes like?
Since we'd had such a big Christmas lunch, we opted for a casual dinner at the Airbnb, and we just made a little charcuterie board with meats and cheese. Julebrus is a Norwegian Christmas soda. It's kind of raspberry flavored, but super sweet. I really enjoyed the smoked salmon and cheese, but I have to say that I can't eat the brown cheese. It's way stickier and more caramel flavored than I expected. but it's definitely a unique flavor, so I can understand how people would be nostalgic for it.
I can't get it out.
Everyone drew a family member's name from a hat on Christmas Eve to get someone a present, so we spent the evening doing our Secret Santa present reveals.
Oh, a hand towel. I love hand towels.
That's very
That is a cute one.
It is a cute one. I love it.
It's the day after Christmas, and we're gonna take a little fjord cruise.
I was so excited about this fjord tour. It left from the Bergen harbor just next to the fish market. This would be a 3-hour trip up the Fjord and through the narrow Mostraumen Strait. We had seats inside the ferry, but the top deck was open the whole time, and I really liked being able to see everything from the outside. There was also a narration recording playing as we moved that explained key landmarks and gave historical details about the surroundings. Once we went under the Nordhordland Bridge, the waterway started to narrow, and you could begin to see the rocky walls of the fjord get closer. The tour runs every day, all year long, which was perfect for us since many things between Christmas and New Year's are closed for the holidays. An adult ticket was about $78. I learned that a fjord is a long, narrow sea inlet, and the steep sides are carved by glaciers and then flooded by rising sea levels. Because of that, fjords run opposite to rivers, where the seawater runs into the land as opposed to the rivers draining into the ocean. There were so many little waterfalls, and the overcast weather made the scenery look really moody and cool. The remote town of Modalen here has only 380 residents. This is also where the largest waterfalls were, and the boat got up so close to them that I could almost touch the water. On the way back, we stayed warm and dry inside the ferry.
Nothing like a good sheep.
And enjoyed one of the huge cinnamon rolls they had for sale on board. We got pizza for lunch and walked by so many colorful homes to get back to our Airbnb.
Now we're in the Knosesmauet street. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation, but there's lots of really nice, colorful buildings. Nice.
Did you know that Norway is home to the world's largest gingerbread city? Pepperkaker is what we call gingerbread in English. Inside was an impressive display of buildings, houses, cars, and ships, like a miniature version of Bergen, all made from gingerbread by local schools and kindergartens. There were lots of intricate details, and we spent a long time admiring everything. The next morning was probably the part of the trip I was looking forward to most. The scenic train from Bergen to Oslo. National Geographic has even ranked this among the world's finest train journeys.
Hello.
We boarded at 8 a.m. when it was still dark out. We had 2 compartments, which fit all 9 of us easily.
It's starting. 8:08. Can't wait.
808, can't wait. Oh.
Hello?
Hello. Welcome. This is my ride.
As we waited for the sun to come up, we could already see impressive waterfalls, rivers, and lit-up neighborhoods.
Up into the fog.
It got more and more snowy as we climbed up the Hardangervidda mountain plateau. Even though the compartments were cozy, Dad and I honestly spent most of the time standing by the huge windows on the aisle side to see as much of the scenery as possible.
Oh, that's so cool.
Look, Dad, more water.
Oh yeah, that is massive. Big waterfall.
Myrdal is the station where this railway and the Floem railway connect, which is another scenic train trip along the fjords that I definitely want to come back to experience. Finse is the highest point of the railway, and it's a tiny mountain town that's only accessible by train, and I guess by snowmobile. If we get to come back in the summer, the Rallarvegen bike route starts from here in Finse and follows a 100-year-old transport road that was built during the construction of the railway line. From Finse to Floem, the route is about 53 kilometers of highland mountain views, but this time of year it was hard to imagine this area ever not being covered in snow. Actually, some of the ice planet scenes of Hoth from Star Wars were filmed near Finse. About 2 hours west of Oslo is the Hallingdal Valley, which is an area I'd love to come back to in the summer and ride the mountain biking trails that they're known for. We were also able to get some coffees and hot chocolates from the cafe car. They had food too, although we brought sandwiches with us for lunch.
It's very expensive.
Slowly the snow started to melt as we got closer to Oslo. The whole trip took about 7 hours, but I was never bored. I love trains. I made tons of videos about them when we lived in Japan, and this was definitely a top train experience for me. It was exciting to arrive in the bustling capital city of Oslo. And though it looks like evening, it was actually only about 3 p.m. when we arrived. Our first stop was the Christmas market in Spikersuppa. I have mixed feelings about Christmas markets since they're often crowded and always have very overpriced food and drinks. But also the vibes are undeniably festive, so I am glad we went. These cheese fries were so warm and delicious. The next video will share the second half of the trip, starting with our overnight ferry to Denmark. Thanks for joining us!